State Senator Adam Gomez announcing 3 grant awards coming to the Hampden district. This is part of a nearly $28 million package for park improvements all across the state. Chicopee will receive $500,000 for Sarah Jane Park. Springfield also receiving $500,000 for Phase 2 of the Blunt Park project. And the Magazine Park in Springfield is receiving $1 million. That money to be used for improving soccer and baseball fields, installing new playgrounds, splash pads, walking paths, and more.